Good afternoon and welcome to the Illinois Farmers Market Association Market Master Series webinar, Social Media for Farmers Markets, Course 1, Instagram, sponsored by the Illinois Farm Bureau. My name is Deborah Kavanaugh Grant, and I'm an ILFMA board member and secretary and chair of the Education Committee. Today, ILFMA welcomes Jennifer Newell, digital marketing specialist, who will discuss how to influence your customers on Instagram and show you how to create Instagram stories, enlist under your highlights section, go live, and more. Jennifer is a digital marketing specialist located in Central Illinois, representing businesses across the state. She loves helping small businesses thrive in today's market. And this is a quote from Jennifer. I have enjoyed working with many different small businesses with product management, sales, and digital marketing strategy. I enjoy meeting new people and learning about their love of their community. Before we begin the presentation, I would like to introduce Janie Maxwell. Janie is the executive director of the Illinois Farmers Market Association. She comes to ILFMA as a lifelong farmers market shopper, registered dietitian with a background in program management. Janie is passionate about local food and farmers markets and their benefit to market vendors in the community. Janie?
Thank you, Deborah. Well, we're excited that you're all here today, and we're very pleased and want to thank the Illinois Farm Bureau for sponsoring this Farmers Market Master Series. Before we begin, just want to give you a little background about the Farmers Market Association. We work to support Illinois farmers markets across the state, trying to encourage them to go to their next level of excellence. We know that each farmers market is as unique as the community that hosts it, but we do try and provide training and education and the resources that farmers market managers need to take their markets to the next level. In addition, we provide policy and advocacy information and input. Specifically, for example, during COVID-19, we worked very closely with the state level agencies on crafting operational guidance for farmers markets for operating during COVID. So that's just an example of some of the advocacy that we do. In addition, we look for every opportunity we can to promote the benefits of farmers markets and local food. What can you do? Well, we encourage you to connect. First, consider joining the Illinois Farmers Market Association. We would really appreciate your support. And that is one way that you can support us, is by joining the organization. But the second way is also for you as a farmer's market or as a vendor to update your profile within our Market Maker system. Now, Market Maker is an online database system. And as you can see here, these are all the partners as of January of last year that were a part of our Market Maker database. So ILFMA is one of them. And since this graphic was put together, I think we now have Farm to School well, we keep adding more local food groups to this particular database. What's important about this is it's searchable and it's shareable. So each of these partners can have a link to the information in the database on their website, and ILFMA has a searchable map on our website. What we need farmers markets and vendors to do is to create or update their profile. Even if you have a profile within Market Maker, it needs to be updated because the profile was just updated and their whole system changed. So we need you to go through there and to make sure that your information is up to date and accurate. It's really key. A lot of people come to the ILFMA website when they want to find information about farmers markets. Where are they? How do they operate? What are some of the nuances of them? And by providing this searchable database on our website, it really helps connect local shoppers to local food. So please go in, update your profile, make sure you include your logo, tag your vendors and your markets, and tell your story. The more information you put in here, the more searchable you become. Great example in this last week, I've been asked so many times for a list of the winter markets across Illinois. And if you do a search within this market maker system right now on our webpage, you come up with 6. And I know that's not the correct number. I know that we're closer to between 30 and 50. And so that information is owned by the farmer's market or the vendor and has to be updated by the holder of the information. ILFMA cannot go in and change your profile. So we really encourage you to keep your information up to date so that we have the best information for consumers that are looking for local food products, or maybe vendors that are looking for a market, or maybe farmers market managers that are looking for specific vendors. And then it also connects to our What's in Season app, which can be downloaded from the ILFMA website. This is a phone-based system. It does show what's in season, but in addition to showing what's in season, it shows all sorts of valuable information about specific farmers markets across the state. Do connect to our resources and training. We do have our current COVID guidelines published, and if things change with the new variant and things change across the state, we will keep those up to date. We are very pleased to offer this Farmers Market Master Series. Today is course 1 on Instagram, but Facebook and Reels and videos are yet to come, as well as the update to the cottage food law. So please take advantage of those opportunities, and you can register through the ilfma.org website. We are also starting a certification program for farmers market managers. It begins January 10th. We really think this is a great opportunity for market managers to learn about the best practices for farmers markets, and we really encourage you to check it out. We're one of a handful of states across the country that offers an opportunity like this. Last year, we had 22 market managers complete the course, and we really look forward to working with the next group starting in January. Also encourage you to donate to ILFMA, and right now we're really excited. We have our new ILFMA Board of Directors cookbook. It's our thank you for a donation over $25. And so we really encourage you to support ILFMA, and I think you'll get an opportunity to enjoy some of the recipes. And I think what's very evident in this cookbook is the passion of the Board of Directors of the Illinois Farmers Market Association. So we encourage you to do that. We also have a Facebook group for market managers. If you're not a part of that, we really encourage you to do that. And now it's time for Jennifer. We are really pleased to have her today, and we look forward to the presentation. We'll stop sharing now. All right.
I'm unmuted. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Well, hello. I'm really excited to be here. Like my little intro said, I love working with small businesses. I have grown up in Champaign-Urbana. I went to college here, and I'm still here, and I just have a passion for small businesses. I always like to say I started out owning my own small business for about 5 years, and just the desire to connect to other people, running small businesses, whether it be a farmer's market, retail, anything that helps connect people in a community, which I think the farmer's market is the #1 way to do that, especially in our community. That is something that I just love to do. So I want to share my screen, and Natalie is actually sitting here with me in case I mess anything up. So here we go. All right. We will get started, and I promise that we'll have some hands-on stuff as well to make this fun. But I just kind of wanted to start with when I was asked to do this presentation, we really talked about the different types of things that we wanted to do. I know that a lot of you, oh, hold on, Natalie says it's not sharing, right? Stop sharing, try again. Okay. Let's try again.
Can you switch to show the page instead of the desktop?
Hold on, technical difficulties. Mm-hmm.
was showing earlier. Let's stop sharing.
Sorry about that. I'll keep talking while you try to figure this out.
Okay.
But I want you guys to all kind of think about an Instagram page that you love. I don't know what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be farmers market specific, but think about an Instagram page or person you follow that you really love to follow. Like when you get on Instagram, you think, yes, I want to look at their page. Because what I want you to really think about is the idea of why do you like to follow their page? Why do you go to it? Why do you, go back for it or see it? And what draws you to it? Because today we're going to be talking about how to make your profile attractive and to make the most out of the space that you have to tell people more about your farmers market. Did you figure that out? We'll try one more time and then maybe I'll just share it to yours and we can.
Right. Maybe just share it to me.
All right, hold on, time out, everyone. Sorry about this. It was working before everyone got on. There you go. So I can shut this one down, right?
Mhm.
All right, sorry about that. You sure?
Yep.
All right, Natalie's going to go ahead and share the presentation that I had. I think I've lost it. Okay. What we're going to do today is look on different ways on how to engage people to want to come to your profile, to find more information out about your market. We're going to make our profile pictures, our bios more attractive. And then we're also going, our goals, Instagram stories, which I bet a bunch of you came to really learn more about. And then in the third series, we'll be talking about reels, which are kind of my favorite thing. So hopefully that will be a reason to come back, and how to go live on Instagram. So first, I think the most important thing really is to know who you are. You are the expert on your farmers market, the people that come to your market, and what you're trying to provide a service for. You are the one who knows what people want to know and what people ask you all the time as market managers. So you want to find out kind of in your community, the people coming, what's your job on Instagram to really communicate to other people who you are and what you do. I think importantly, I'm sure you guys talk a lot in these meetings about the brand of your market, who you're reaching out to, who you are, what you do. And I think that kind of communication on social media is important. And if you think you've said it too much, you haven't, because people don't always see the posts that you're posting. So there's to keep going over and over, reminding people where you are, where you're located, the times, how they can get in touch, maybe how they can sell their own goods and services at the market. You are the expert, and just really stick to that when you're going through any of these things and when you're thinking about your posts and just the story you want to tell. Second, content that is double tap worthy. And what that means is, when you scroll that you're either going to double tap that heart or you're just going to keep scrolling. So what I always say is Instagram is about pretty things. And I love that, because you get the opportunity to curate a look on your feed that represents what you do. I did put in a study that filtered photos are 21%, I think it said, more likely to be viewed, and 45% more likely to be commented on. We could have a whole hour-long conversation about filters, and I think that you might be bored with that. This is what I would say throughout all of these ideas: be consistent. Whatever you choose, I prefer and I will say, some people may say, I don't want to use any filters. totally fine. I think one way to have a cohesive look to your Instagram feed is to pick one filter and you start just using that filter on your posts. Now, I'm also a big fan of looking real. So I don't like filters that make things look not like they are at all. A little brightening, or you can just do no filter. But if you want to talk about filters, please email me later and we can talk about that, because I could really talk about that for an hour. So the goal really of Instagram, which is all about the pretty things. It's happy, right? On Facebook, which we're talking about next on Friday, Facebook sometimes isn't just about pretty. It has more information giving, and there's more commentary on that. But on Instagram, you really get to tell the story of your market in a really pretty way. Next, I will probably say this word 100 times today, but consistency. Consistency with Instagram is really, and any social media, is really important for your business, your farmers market, to have a presence that is in your community and it's consistently showing up where people are looking at their information. I think that for social media, scheduling can really help you be consistent. When I say consistent, I don't necessarily mean every day. It may be every day for your particular market, and there's ways to figure out what that is. But I even tell people, let's start with 3 posts a week, or 2 posts a week. What is something doable that you could do with your team of people, your volunteers? Consistency will really help Instagram and Facebook show your stuff more when you are participating consistently. I don't know if any of you guys use scheduling tools. Scheduling really helps that make it a better possibility that you're actually going to post when you schedule out and think. And I know a lot of you are always thinking, in our town, market is on Saturday. So leading up to the farmer's market, it's probably similar messaging every week, right? Maybe if there's especially the last year, if there's a different COVID protocol, maybe there's the traffic's going a new way. I don't know what it is, but you're going to be messaging similar every week. And so because of that, you can really schedule things out. And also, I'm assuming that all of you have lovely photos from years of farmers markets. And the good thing about that is, the sunflowers are always in season, probably the same time of year, right? So as you're planning ahead for the next year, you already have images that are beautiful that you can use for the next year. Scheduling different programs that Facebook Business Suite does have a scheduling tool that is free with your account. And I think there's a lot of benefits to it. I am sometimes wondering, I'd love to ask Natalie, I don't know if Facebook likes it when you use their scheduling system and may show more. I don't have any stats on that, but I wonder. I like Later a lot. Later is a free program that allows you to, it's free up to a certain amount of posts. And it also, which will come in later, allows you to have a link in bio so you can actually connect your viewers to your website. Hootsuite and Later and Facebook Business Suite allow you to schedule stories. That was really a game changer a few years ago, because the idea of creating a story every 24 hours and having to really have that in front of you every 24 hours. Well, I know that on whatever day your market is, early in the morning, you don't have time to really be thinking about what you want to say or having it or doing it. And it can sometimes just be thrown together in like a live setting where, you're at the market and you're walking, around and looking at it. That totally is a possibility, but to plan it out, the scheduling has really changed just the way to do stories. And it is a way to plan out and kind of think through what you want to say. And it helps you be consistent as you're posting your stories. Let's go to the next one. I will say consistency a lot more. Hashtags. Okay. So hashtags are a way to really help people find you, or find people that are interested in your topic and get them to your account. So there are different ways to kind of find hashtags that are, I would say, beneficial for you. It's a way, some people, and you may do this, I don't know if anyone does, you may follow certain hashtags. I follow golden retriever puppy hashtags because it makes me really happy. And so often in my feed, I have hashtags of golden retriever puppies. But then I see posts from all types of accounts that have golden retriever puppies. I would think a farm to table hashtag would be one of interest to you. You might find a new vendor. Another way, there are lots of sites that really help you with this. You can Google best hashtags for a farmer's market, and you are going to find some. And then I would say the fun part comes in because you get to start trying those with your market. I don't think you need 100 of them. I think they can be focused, and I think that they can be also consistent. So when you're also looking back, you can track kind of, man, when we used our farmers market hashtag, we can see all the posts we did. We can see how people connected with them. Did they like them? And kind of gauge what is a good hashtag for your market. Another thing I would say is you guys all in this, Zoom know each other, and you should be looking at each other's Instagram. You can look and see what's working for them. Maybe you can have it work for you, or see, oh, they did an interview with a vendor and it got so many views, it went viral. So maybe that's something you want to try at your market. I would definitely say that today, after we when we get off of this Zoom, the rules change all the time, and that makes it difficult, but it doesn't make it difficult to just keep going and keep being consistent. I see the question about hashtags. It's a really good question. And I think if we looked it up, there are a lot of different opinions on it. I would say, I'm not going to give you an exact number. I would say like 5 to 10, depending on the post. Sometimes it doesn't need a hashtag. Sometimes the hashtag is in the post, like stop by the hashtag farmers market today at this location. It could just be built into your post. I do like, if you'd like to pick 5 and do those with your Instagram posts, I think that those will help you and see more of an uptick of viewers. I think seasonal hashtags are a big deal in the industry, and certain times of year they're going to show more at different times. Like right now, I have a client, photographer, Santa, it's all about Santa right now. So anything Santa related, they're showing that more. So the hashtag also doesn't always have to match the topic. If you are, I'm reading your question, Kathleen, sorry. Okay, so you both have that question. I would say, I'd say in the post is more, because that's where you're going to get the big bang for your buck. I'm going to open that back up.
Yep.
The big bang for your buck for the post is put it in the post. Now, if you for some reason are seeing it differently, then I've seen a lesser decline of putting the hashtags in like the first comment, because it's not your first direct line of communication with the platform. If someone else is having a great success with that, I would say keep doing it. But most of the time I would say in the post, not in the comment. Are there any other questions about hashtags? And I do feel like, don't get discouraged, because the rules with hashtags change all the time. And that's probably not very uplifting, but it used to be, you'd want 200 hashtags and your post would be seen. And then I remember this report came out and it was like, no hashtags, don't do it, they won't show it. But now I think it's more of a balance, right? Especially ones that work for your market, and also it's a way to catalog your post. Of course, you can see it in your metrics, but for someone that's new to the area, and I live in Champaign, so if I put in, Champaign and farmers market, all the posts from our farmers market would show up, and that would be really helpful when trying to plan out where I can get our produce. I'm going to go on from hashtags, but please ask any questions you have. Encourage. So along with hashtags, one of the most important things is really encouraging engagement on your posts. I wrote a couple types of posts that I think do well and would help people, especially at your market. And that would be to do personal content. Like I said, maybe it's your staff, maybe it's your volunteers, maybe it's family photos of the vendors, whether it be a vendor spotlight. I think, you can tag them, you can in there personally, their friends would see it and comment on it, and that can go a long way. If you have a board of your local farmers market, it's a good way to say, hey, let's introduce everyone. You might see us at the market. I don't know, maybe you have like the same person that comes to the market every day that plays the tambourine. That's what we have here. But I grew up here. I know him, like do a story on him. Like, why does he do that? Why does he love to come? So that might be something. Sticky content. I like to think of that as like viral memes or something funny, something that whether they go to your farmer's market or my farmer's market or just think something is funny, you'll have more eyes on it because it might not be your normal viewer and it might spread more virtually that way. So I think you can get a lot of traction from that. Earned content will kind of go to my next point as well. And you have vendors, you have tons of people that you can brainstorm with. What do they need? What do they want? What are they trying to tell, their own followers about? If you can kind of cross promote with them and kind of start talking about the same things, I'm going to go to the next slide. It really goes into engaging. You can start a relationship. You may have some local influencers and you can find them if you don't know who they are by hashtags. Follow, do your town, your location. Start looking for people. I know we have some around here. Some are like mom blogs or I'm trying to think, there's a boutique one in our town, but find some influencers that people in your town are already following and start a relationship with them. Ask them to come to the market, ask what that would look like and have more eyes on content that you already have by being promoted by someone in the community that finds your mission really important to the community. I think that is a great way to grow your audience, to get more engagement on your posts, and just to start a conversation. And the more anyone talks, likes, or shares your information, it's seen by more people, and you don't have to pay for that. That's just native to what social media does. Any more questions on that? And this talks a little bit more about the collaboration. I definitely think you guys should help each other. If some of you are in maybe close proximity and there's reasons to, go to both markets, maybe they're on opposite days, maybe they're, I go to this town on this day and then they go to this town on the other day, work together, not just local influencers, but other markets, and find out what works for them. And if one of you has this amazing post and it's gone viral, share it, share it in your story. We'll get to the how to do that. But the more you help each other out, your content will be shown more and more. So that's kind of a fun way and free way to have someone help each other. All right. And then study and learn. So there are trends changing all the time, and you can kind of look at that. And if you're like, I don't have time to do that, okay, that's fine. What I do want you to do is peek into your account insights. I'll show you that button on Instagram here in a minute. But you can always see how your posts are performing. If you just did that maybe once every 30 days, it would just kind of give you a look like, oh, that post did really well. Like that one knocked it out of the park. So then you kind of know what's happening. The other thing I want to say about when you are looking for what is happening in your account, really look at least at the past 30 days, because you might have an awesome week and then the next week it says your account is not doing as well. That's not maybe necessarily true overall. So kind of look at 30 days at a time and kind of just see, okay, when we did stories and we did 3 posts a week, we saw that 10% more people came to the market this week and it was really productive. Or we got 10 more people to follow us on Instagram, which means hopefully in the long run, more people coming to the market to shop. Stories and reels, you can share other people's stories. Their account has to be on that mode. A lot of public or business accounts allow that because they want you to share it. And so you can do that. You can share often other people's reels and you can share that within your story as well. And that gets more leverage for all of you. And then hashtags, like I said, learn about the hashtags, what's working for other people, what is kind of important to other markets, and go from there. All right, now to the fun part. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, I can. We will get to that here in just a second. We're going to first talk about our profile image and our bio, and then we'll get on to stories, the fun part. Okay. Your profile image. I have a couple of examples here, and I hope you can see them. Like we were talking about before, having an image for your profile, it's very small, right? There's not much there. So how can you kind of represent your farmer's market in that square circle? I don't know the exact answer to that, but I know that it should be authentic. You could also use a logo if people are more associated, like they know that logo is your farmer's market. And if that's what they associate with it, I would say put it there. It needs to be bright. People need to be able to see what it is. We don't want a fuzzy one or something really super little, even though it is pretty little. I'm looking at those are little. But on these two, I picked kind of two different vibes. The one on your left is more bright colors. You can see like she has bright colors, lots of emojis, and it's, I would say fun, essentially. The one on the right has more calm colors. I think of more like I'm going to listen to her, kind of whatever she's trying to say. The profile starts to take on kind of what you are trying to portray as who you are and what you do. Another thing that you want to do, let's go to the next one. Your bio is what I know we wanted to talk about a little bit today. I don't know if you can see that, but the bio, you want to do about 150 words. I am a fan of emojis. And I think with a farmer's market, there's lots of fun emojis. And I put here, if you don't know what to write in that, or if you keep changing it, ask a friend. That's what I always say. Say, what do we do at the farmer's market? Why do people come? What makes it a fun place to go? Or like when you think of the farmer's market, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Those words are going to be great additions to your Instagram bio. Another trick, I'm sure that you already have Instagram pages, but your actual name of your account. So if this was Secondhand Furnitures, that's the actual account. Down below in your name, those do not have to match. So if you got your Instagram account yesterday and for some reason an account very similar to you was taken, don't fear. You have your name, which is probably something about your location and market. But if your name needs to be something else, like more specific to the location, or a name that maybe people would know, those do not have to match. So those could be different so people really understand what they're looking for. I think the name is important for people to know who they're looking at, because lots of names can start to look the same. I put also in this example on the right-hand side about your contact options. I think that's really important for your type of business. You can call your office, obviously during the week, probably not if the market's on a weekend, email, and then directions. I liked that for business accounts because you can give people directions, especially to where your market is located. Any questions on that? Okay, go on. Okay, now it's the fun part, guys. Stories. I might show you when I share my other screen here in a minute, just about the bio and where you can go. I looked this morning and the business accounts, they now do, if you haven't seen it, there is a farmer's market option for what type of business are you. So that is also a good thing, because if people start following and looking for that, yours will hopefully show up in their search. Okay, stories. I don't know how much like everyone knows about the stories, but stories and reels are something that Instagram and Facebook are really pushing and using and wanting people to use. They started after the popularity of Snapchat and now TikTok. A different generation is how they're gaining their information. It's how it's being shown to them. And we'll talk to this a little bit more in the Zoom about reels, but I just read a report that people's attention span is about 8 seconds. So most of you have already stopped listening to me, I guess, but 8 seconds that you have to grab their attention in a story or a reel. So this is kind of what I aim for, especially when we're starting and we're trying to set some new goals. Aim for 3 slides per story. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But the other thing I want you to realize, if you work really hard on a story, you can reuse that, and that's okay, because some of your messaging will be the same. So you might want to use it again. So we're going to try this. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to have Natalie help me figure out how to do this. So I want to stop sharing on that one, right? That one?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Those are my kids with Santa. Okay, sorry. I made a pretend Instagram account. I just called it, that's not it. Where to go? There we go. I put a person that's at a farmer's market in my top thing. So here, what I wanted to show, I'm going to show this first. This is a made up account, so there are things that don't exist. For the bio, what I really liked, if you add a bio, it's 150 words. You can mess around with it. So I'm going to put, you guys will probably hate that I do corn because it's Illinois, but I'm just going to pretend that we say farmer's market in there. I'm going to say Champaign because that's where I live. When you are formatting in here, you can mess around with it. So let's say it is Saturday, 7 to noon. Now, if you want to check what it looks like, don't be afraid. It's not like Facebook where it's going to show everyone that you keep changing this. So you can mess around with this and say, oh, I really like that corn next to there, but I want a clock next to the Saturday or something like that. You can always go in and edit. You should be able to in your settings. In your account. And it should be in here. That's my, hold on. There, you can do that one right there. You can keep changing it and you can mess around with the bio, whatever you want it to be. I do like emojis. I think people like emojis. They're happy. I don't like 100 emojis. I think when they're used for a good purpose, they can be fun. Stories. So if this, last night, I just went and I just like looking for farmers markets and I found some. So I don't know these people, but I just trying to get a kind of a taste for some farmers markets ones. So if you want to do a story, you can, from this page would be your feed. You can hit at the top left, the plus story, and then you can start to add, or you can be on your profile page, same thing, a plus, and it will ask you if you want to do a post, a reel, or a story, and you can do it. So I'm going to make one up here. I'm going to do one that says, I think, here's the thing. You guys have beautiful images. I have no doubt, whether it be fruits and vegetables, flowers, the people, like your images, you don't have to work at making content because what you have is already a beautiful thing. So I would say, here's a couple ways. If you're thinking 3 slides per story, I would say you could pick, I'm going to pick this picture. So here is the picture of the fruits that I like. You can do a couple things. Let's say you have one image that you want to use for the entire story because it is so important to you. So the first thing you can do is add text. About a year ago, they added all these different types of text. What I will say is pick one that you like and kind of stick to that in your stories. I think when people kind of mess around with all different fonts, it doesn't stick to your brand, and it's good to stay to one type of font. So let's say, I would say, Natalie might have to give me some words. The strawberries, I'm just going to do the strawberries are here. Now, this on the side slides up and down to make your font at different sizes. Here's one thing you can do. Let's say I want the words to be skinnier. You can hit done, but I want it smaller. When you're done with your text, you can size it down by pinching in or out. Now, another thing you can do, if you click on the text, up at the top, the color wheel, if you hit that, you can change around to different colors. If you want it opposite, hit the top again where the font is, and it reverses the colors. You can also use the picker down in the left hand and kind of use that to pick a color. That also works. So now, let's say for some reason, this picture is the most important picture to you, and you want to use this for all of your sides of your story. At the top, the 3 dots, you can go to save. So you want to say the strawberries are here, and then you're going to hit the arrow to share it. And I'm going to share it to my story. This pretend account doesn't have a Facebook account set to it, but in your account, I'm assuming you have both, it'll say share to both, and I would say yes. So share to that, and then it's done. And then you go to the plus sign again, go to story, and I want to keep adding onto it. So I saved it, and there it is. So I'm going to add some more text that says Saturday, 7 to noon.
Shop early for best selection.
That's-
That's a farmer's market
There it is.
ad right there.
So let's say we have that there. I like that, Natalie. We'll use that sticker here in a minute. We're going to share it again. Oh, wait, I'm going to first save it again, and I'll show you at the end what this looks like. I'm going to share that. Now we're going to go back one more time. We're going to go to the story. There it is. And now here's the fun part, stickers. If you hit that right there, the looks like a sticker by the letters. You could search if that is shop, let's see, early. Let's see if I can type shop early. Oh, there we go. So there's lots of shop early. Oops, that said shop small, that works too, but hold on. Oh, by the way, let me show you this. If you want to delete anything, put your finger on it, hold it, and drag it down, and there will be a trash can. So I'm going to look at that again. Shop early. So you could do shop early, and then we're going to share it. And then that was 3 slides. So if we go back and our story is at the top, when someone else is looking at it, hold on, because I shared it just a second. When someone else sees it, they would pull up this one, then they would go to the next one, and then they would click through to the next one. So the idea is that you're building on the story. So that is one way to make the same image story. If you wanted to use multiple images for a story, which I think is also a great idea, if you go to your plus sign again, go to story, go down to the left-hand corner of your camera, you'll see your camera roll, And I made this one last night. If you hit the select tool or the select button, you can select more than one. So let's do 1, 2, and 3. So you see in the bottom left-hand corner that you can see all of the images that you want to use. So you hit the arrow forward. And so I made this one actually in Canva. There are awesome templates. I'm assuming you guys have talked about Canva before. If you haven't, we can send out something to kind of explain it. They have great templates for stories that are already there, and you can plug in your own pictures from your own market. I edited those words in Canva and just made it. If you search in Canva, create Instagram story, it'll give you tons of templates. So that one kind of, has it there. And then you can add more text on the next screen. We'll do what you said, shop early. Let me show you some other font ideas. There's a lot of different fonts to choose from. I think the most important thing is that that people can read it, what you're trying to do. Kathleen, here, let me type that in for you. It's canva.com. Oops, I didn't do that. I'm sorry, Lori. I sent that to the wrong person because I can't see. Canva is a editing tool that you can use on your phone or online. And there are free versions of it, which help and kind of jumpstart your idea and your thinking for stories, Instagram posts, stuff like that. So I bet if Kathleen has any questions, I'm happy to answer questions. If anyone else is a Canva pro, kind of pop in your advice. So here's a different type of font that we did. And then I'm wondering, just fun, farmers market stickers. There's got to be some in here. Ah, look at all those. Wow. Super cute. Oh, I like this one, at the market. That one's cute. So you can add stickers that do things as well. So if you want to share that, I'm going to share it to my story. And you can see there that it has the option to share on the Facebook story. This is a made up account. There is no Facebook account, but yours probably does. So you want to connect those two so it shares on both. I have noticed Facebook really pushing stories more lately in my feed. So they want you to use this. So if you use it, that means I'll show it more. So done with that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the other screen. Hold on, we'll come back to the fun thing.
Oh, you gotta stop sharing on that one.
Good, we have other fun Canva lovers out there. Uh-oh. And look, this was made in Canva. There you go. Here we go. Okay.
Sorry, it started from.
That's okay. We'll go all the way back. Here we go. One more. All right. Now, highlights. Highlights are in your profile at the bottom. You might have seen them. And they are a way to highlight some of your services that are probably things that you say all the time. Could also be event-based, like particular event, but basically kind of think about who are you? Where are you? Who's your staff? What was some of the best markets that you've ever had? It's in a way to make, because stories disappear after 24 hours, they don't really disappear. They go into your archive selection, but for someone just looking at it, for the user, they're gone. And so this allows you to save it, which also allows, if you made perhaps an amazing reel or story and you want it to make sure that you don't lose it, that people can find it, you're going to put it in a highlight. So I'm trying to see if I want to say anything else. You can also, and I think another way to do it would maybe be for you guys. I was thinking about seasons. You could maybe say winter, fall, spring, what's in season those months, and you could kind of highlight those things. So you're going to kill me, but now we're going to go back to this other screen and I'm going to show you how to do highlights. Here we go. Thanks for bearing with us as we go back and forth. Okay, here we go. So let's just say that the story I made was the best story ever. In Canva, if you are searching for a design that you want to make, they have actually already made all for you Instagram highlights. So if you just type in the search, you're going to get tons of ideas and pre-made ones. So what I did was I went ahead and already made some for my Make Believe account. And when you have a story that you want to put as a highlight, you will, let's go to my story. So this one right here, if you go to the bottom, you see the highlight button. Oops, hold on. Sorry. I'm going to do this one, a new highlight. Okay. But it said, meet me at the farmer's market. I'm going to say, let's say this said about the market. Okay. So kind of, this is another way, like a website where people can find information. When you go and add that, we're going to view it on the profile. And do you see where it says about? Should be able to, if you go to edit the highlight, you see where it says edit cover. Now, I ahead of time made different highlight covers. So when you edit the cover, down in the left-hand side where you see the photo thing, hit that. And I already made some highlights in Canva. So I'm going to hit the about, and that's beautiful. We'll say done. We'll say done. And then on my profile, as you can see, because my account is new, sorry, it keeps telling me to like people. Sorry. You can see down below right there where it says about. Let me give you an example of one of an account. Here we go. So you see, here's a good example. This is a photographer, how she has her highlights by category. Kind of, if you wanted to see a specific something, you could, I'm just going to hit, let's do about. So this is kind of a branding one where, but it's all then categorized in your bio by different topics. If there are any farmers market accounts that you think are amazing, I would look to see what do they have highlighted there. You're not going to go wrong with it. If you like it, put it there. People might want to look at it. If you add another one, let me just show you that again. Sorry. If you hit a new highlight, these stories are, when you pull that up, all of your stories that you've ever made are going to be archived there as well. So let's say last year for your holiday market, you made this 3-part stories and you had even a video of someone walking around and you want to keep that for a highlight. You can scroll back and find that. And then you can say, I'm going to say, this was the story that I want on the highlight. I selected them all. Then I hit next. And then here I can say, I'm going to edit the cover. I need to find out what I called another one of these so I don't confuse you. I'm going to do behind the scenes. That's what BTS is. That's an Instagram logo or lingo that, I don't know, people use BTS. So we could say behind the scenes. It's also a good hashtag, by the way. Add that. And so now on this, you can see we have BTS and about. And as you make those and go across, that gives more information and a way of cataloging that as you move forward. Someone asked me about sharing a story. And I think, did that answer the question? Who asked me that? Kathleen, did that answer a question about how to kind of share a story? Awesome. All right, let me go back to my other screen. Awesome. All right. Oh, well. Lastly, we will talk about going live. I think let's do that. Sorry, Natalie.
Yep.
Just stop that real fast. Going live, I think, is really a great thing for you guys because you can be walking through your market, you can be talking to people, you can just be giving people like a sense of what it is to be at the market live, literally. One thing you want to really think about when you're live on Instagram is you don't want to maybe just turn it on really fast and start talking furiously. The algorithm and Instagram kind of need to catch up, and they need to start telling your people that like your account that you're going live. So maybe when you go live, you just are kind of walking, or you're kind of waiting, or, give it a second for it to catch up. In the right top hand corner, again, where that plus is, if you hit that, it gives you the options to do a post, a story, a reel, or go live. And you literally hit live. And there, now you see me in two ways, but there's lots of fun also like stickers and stuff to do with this, but I would suggest you maybe just practice by going live without all the bells and whistles, at least at first. And you don't always need all that, but you can add on to those. Here's the thing, you can try things, and if they don't work, they don't work. It's okay. Like, try something different. Oh, well, I sorry, I'm just looking at that question from Kathleen. And let me just finish my other thought real quick. Just the idea that, trying things new to see if your viewers like them, if they engage with it, and if they don't, it's okay. Most of the time you can also just erase things. So like if it was total flop and you hated it, you can delete it. I do want to show, I'm going to send, let me see if I can see this. You can also, in Facebook Business Manager, I do want people to know this, that with stories, you can go in and delete them. It used to be that if it was there, and it wouldn't go away. I will show you on mine, with a random account, but if you go into, and I don't want this to confuse you guys, but did you see where I hit on my screen, the business suite? If you have that app, if you go in there and there is a story, I don't have any, let's see, hold on just a second. I don't have one live, but if you go into the story button there, you can delete a story, which is huge because if you make a spelling error or the farmer's market got rained out, you can take it down and no one is confused with information. Kathleen asked about the highlight buttons, why they're better than photos. And I would say it's because it's so small. And then it tells the people what they're about to see, like almost like a photo album of, this was our whole crop of strawberries, and here's all the vendors and looking at it. If it was small, you could, by the way, if that's what you want to do, try it. I think it helps people read better to see what the highlights are. If you use good descriptive words and your photos seem to really convey that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That can be pretty too. I find that it's easier just to see what the highlight's going to be with the text on there. I think it's probably just not my opinion either, because if you in Canva, you'll see all the different options. Sometimes people, instead of words, use an image. That if you go in there and look at that, you'll see there's also some like I don't want to say clip art, but like something that could stand for the same word and then people know exactly what they're using. I'm going to stop sharing this. One thing to know is that difference of Facebook and Instagram is on Facebook, you can go live from your computer screen. On Instagram, you cannot. I do assume that that will happen someday, but it is not that way yet. So if you are wanting to do a live video or interview at your market, you'll have to do it from your phone. Can't set up a computer to do that. And then I think that is it. I wanted to leave you guys with a few things. Don't be overwhelmed. I would say, remember that it's pretty. Also remember that you guys have the most beautiful things to take photos of. So that should be actually the easiest part. You guys are a fun group. You are like, you're not like a bank. You're not like healthcare. You're not boring. You have people and beautiful things. So that is perfect for Instagram. Number 2, consistency. Whatever that means. Today, when you're done, I want you to decide, I'm going to do 2 posts. If you've only posted once a month and you want to get this thing going, you're going to do 2 posts a week and you're going to do 2 stories a week and stick to it for a month. Do it. And even use those scheduling tools. If you just want to do it all today, because you know what December looks like for the market, I'm just going to do it all, then do it all. But consistency is really key. I think for your specific businesses, engaging and collaborating with other people in your industry and in your town are huge. And I think that that would really help your followers grow and things to be more seen. And then, like I said, consistency, seriously, that's what will change the way people interact with your Instagram account. I would say a business account. Business accounts, they allow you to have insights into what people are doing and seeing on your account. It gives you metrics to go by. And so that's really important. I know there's some other issues with that, and I don't know all those, but I could look that up for you. But a business account is extremely personal for that. Important, excuse me. Any other questions? Yeah, anyone that you have well, here's what I will also say. The question about favorite apps to enhance, do you mean to like put stuff on top of your images, or do you mean, Nicole, are you thinking like ways to schedule and boost them, or to actually put words on them? Here's what I think also, I'm just going to talk, if you're thinking like, I think enhancing posts, there's good to have some like overall infographics, stuff like that. I think that's a good way to share information. But I do think that you should really focus on the beauty of your product. And that's what will make your account stand out among anything else, because what you have is just so beautiful. In Canva, there are some really nice templates for like, if you want to put hours, put your logo, that sort of stuff. But I would bet money that you will have more likes and comments on just photos of beautiful produce, food, stuff like that. What apps I use, I love Later, and I forgot to talk about that. Later, if you go in there, and maybe we'll talk about this in a different one, but Later allows you to use the link in bio feature. And I'm sorry, I kind of skimmed over that. I was a little excited. Link in bio allows you to set up a link that allows when you get one link in your bio, right? So what it allows you to do is when you are doing an Instagram post, people go to that link and they can click exactly on the link you want them to go. So it's almost like a third party per se. So they're going to click that link and it's going to take them to actually where you want to go. It may not be the homepage of the website. It may be to a registration page for vendors. And I bet if we ask, we could send out some links to describe that more. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll do that afterwards, just to kind of give you kind of a rundown for that. Honestly, if this is all new to you, it'd be more important to focus on everything we talked than that. But I do like later because you can schedule posts on all platforms and schedule stories. What's the one you use that you love?
I use Sprout Social, and there's a component built into it for link in bio where you can curate what your link in bio page looks like, which I'm on this side, which is really helpful, I think, from when I've worked with farmers markets or ran one. You know, sometimes you want to share a link in Instagram, but that link is not clickable. So if you don't have the link in bio, you're not going to get that engagement of clicking through to wherever you want them to go. And so link in bio is really helpful. For Linktree is Kathleen, is the same. I use Sprout Social, and so theirs is like Sprout link something or other. I mean, there's so many different link in bio platforms that you can use, but I think what it all boils down to is, like you said, consistency. And if you are going to have a link, make sure you have one that takes them to somewhere.
Yes, make sure it works. No 404 errors for people. Also, I would say, honestly, Canva is the most user friendly. I use it for a lot of things. I use Photoshop for some things too, but I think for what you guys are doing, Canva is going to be a great asset for you, and it's free. You can have it paid to get some more things, but what you would need it for free would be great, and free is always good. And then the Facebook tools are not bad either. I think they're getting better, and I have hope someday that they'll do more what like Sprout Social, Hootsuite, all of those will do. I have hope that that's going to get even better. Any other questions? Did that. Oops, it's
And you
going the wrong
can
way.
schedule stories in the Facebook.
You can. I have had terrible luck with that lately, and they put them out of order.
Oh, no.
Always out of order. So you could play around with that. Like I said, you can erase them in there, so it's okay. Like if you were to mess it up, just delete it and try again. Any other questions?
Jennifer, this is Deborah. Someone asked if they could contact you directly with your personal email. So I didn't know if you wanted to put that in.
Sure. Yeah, I'll write it in here. That'd be great.
Thank you.
There it is. Well, Natalie and I both wore green today. We didn't even plan it. This was fun. Seriously, you guys start small if you've never even thought about this stuff, and just set a small goal and start doing it. And I think you'll really find that it's beneficial and people will start following along.
Well, thank you, Jennifer and Natalie, for your technical assistance, for sharing information about influencing customers through Instagram. As Janie mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we have 2 more webinars scheduled, one for this coming Friday and then the following Monday. So we hope that you plan to attend those 2. And I also would like to thank everyone for attending today's webinar.